And welcome aboard Train Tuesday. I'm your host, Jim Wiggin. So pleased to have you with us tonight. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, thank you for dropping by and watching this at a later time. I do want to let everybody know this is a pre-recorded broadcast, so I will not be answering questions tonight. However, we will be back next week in our usual format, and I will answer your questions live next week. But until then, I hope you enjoy what we've got for you tonight. We're going to be talking Athearn, HO and N scale cars, 52-foot Mill Gondolas. And they're not just the same old gondolas that you've seen before. There's been some rework on these. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started about talking about these new uh, Mill Gondolas available in both HO and N scale. Now, I'll talk about the features of both HO and then N scale, and then I'm also going to talk about the updates that have been done to these cars. They have been in our catalog for quite a while. We felt it was time to bring these up to current day standards, and so there's a lot of work that's gone into these, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But for now, let's talk about what we're offering in both HO and N scale. Now, as you probably know, open-top cars such as gondolas have been a mainstay on railroads for decades, as they are ideal for carrying large, bulky loads such as coil steel or scrap metal loaded by crane. These are perfect for you guys that are into operations because they can be used in scrap yards. They can be used in steel plants. There's so many different uses for them. And even if you have a small switching layout, these come in handy for unusual loads that wouldn't be served well with a flat car or a box car. Now, the first one that we have up is the Railgon. This is car number 310222. And of course, we all know about Railbox. Well, they also had gondolas as well, painted in their corporate scheme, as you can see here. We're going to be offering this in two different road numbers. So every road that I'm going to show you tonight is available in two different road numbers. And then we've also got a special one that I'll show you next. And that's the Railgon 3-pack. Now, these are going to include road numbers that are not available separately. So you have the opportunity to get 5 different road numbers with this release. This is perfect for you N-scale guys that are into Fremo N or N-track or even T-track. Now, the Prime for Grime is another one that we're bringing back. It's really popular with you guys. Check this out. This is a Chesapeake and Ohio car, 351 342, one of 2 that we're offering in Prime for Grime. Faded out. It's definitely seen its use, and these remain popular. And both the HO and the N scale will be available in Prime for Grime. For you Conrail fans out there, we've got the Conrail. We've got this also available in 2 different road numbers. And this is also available in HO and N. And this is perfect for you guys that are modeling Conrail in the 1980s all the way up until it's split up with CSX and Norfolk Southern. A lot of these have found use on their newer owners and pretty much largely unchanged. So depending on what era you're modeling in, you can probably find a home for these cars. Another Prime for Grime, this is the Denver and Rio Grande Western version. It's got a really cool patch job there and re-stencil, as you can see, but faded out like the CNO one that I showed you earlier. This one is going to be available in 2 different road numbers and also available in HO and N scale. For you guys in the 1970s, we've got a Frisco version. This was one that was requested. We're getting a lot of requests for Frisco lately, so we're more than happy to oblige. Available in HO and N scale, 2 different road numbers. So we've got 2 different cars that you can choose from, or you can purchase both and add them to your fleet. And then last but not least, a little bit more modern, we've got the Norfolk Southern. We can probably surmise that this was a former Conrail gondola. We're offering these in both HO and N scale, two different road numbers. Here you see number 200323. Again, we're offering these in two different road numbers. So let's talk a little bit about the features of these cars. First of all, let's start with HO and let's start with the features that are common with these cars. These are all going to have separately applied wire grab irons, body-mounted McHenry couplers, 33-inch solid nickel wheels with the RP25 contours, and of course, the multi-pack that I showed you earlier. Those are going to feature unique road numbers that are not available in the singles. The minimum radius on these cars is 18 inches. Now for the new stuff that we've packed into these. The developers have been busy with these cars, and here's what they've added. They've refined end sheet molded on details. They've improved the rivet and bolt details. They've corrected the wire grab iron placements. In the past, they weren't 100%. These are now based more on the prototype. People have been asking online what prototype these are based on. These are based on the Thrall gondola cars. They're going to have new top cord details, new jack reinforcement pad details, and new coupler cut lever mounting details. So a little bit more than what we've had in previous runs. Moving on to the N scale features are going to be body-mounted McHenry couplers. Again, with our N scale selection, we are currently going forward with all of our cars to have body-mounted couplers where applicable. We find that they operate better, and we are seeing more guys doing operations now in N scale. It's not just O scale and HO scale that guys are doing operations. These are going to include metal wheel sets. The metal wheel sets will run on standard code 80 as well as code 55 and code 40 track. The trucks for these are screw mounted, not tab and pin mounted. They're actually a screw mount. And minimum radius on these is 9 3/4. So they will run on just about any home layout, any club layout, and of course T-track, N-track, and Fremo N scale standards. Now the new features that we've done with these cars, they're going to have improved molded detail fidelity. We've kind of tried to clean up those molds, make them crisper, make them sharper. That translates better for N scale. They're more pleasing to the eye and more prototypically correct. The stirrups, they are more finer than they were in previous runs. N scale can be pretty hard to get fine details, but we've went ahead and tried to make those stirrups to look the actual prototype scale and size. Like the HO, we've also have additional nut and bolt details have been added. So while these aren't Genesis level, we have updated the tooling on both the HO and the N scale. I think if you were to combine or take the last run and compare it to this run, you would see a big difference. And of course, you're still going to have that sharp printing, that sharp painting. And of course, we're offering these in Prime for Grime, as well as the multi-car sets, both in HO and N scale. Now you have until Friday, September 30th to place pre-orders for what we've talked about here tonight. That includes things that we've talked about in previous Train Tuesdays for the month of September, as well as these gondolas available both in HO and N scale. Now you can also go to our website at athearn.com and see more information on these cars. Go on over to athearn.com and select the new announcements banner, and it will take you to all of our new announcements for the month of September. Again, you have till Friday, September 30th to place those pre-orders. With that, I also want to invite you to go over to our YouTube channel. And while you're over there, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified of new videos as they pop in. Of course, Train Tuesday comes to you live every week on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Daylight Time. Now, until the next time I see you folks, I want you all to be happy, be healthy, do some good modeling, and above all, high greens, everyone. Good night.